Hey honey bunches, welcome back to another video. Let's kick this right off straight away. So on this Monday, and I've never showed you the B12 I have, but this is the one, and it dissolves under your tongue. It's very sweet, it's very doable. You don't have to swallow a large pill or anything, and I got it off iHerb. We were a little low on fruit and breakfast things, but we still had the fabulous ingredients for some avocado toast. So I did that on sourdough with lemon juice, salt and pepper, which just takes it to the next level. Also some chili flakes would have been good, yet I obviously was having a moment and didn't remember them. Then I drank some English breakfast tea with soy milk. I had a lot more cups of this throughout the week, didn't film all of them, I know. But you can just imagine it, because I think after a while cups of tea could get a bit boring. We had some leftover veggie paella, which there's a recipe for on my blog, which I'll link to. And I had a massive serving of that. Just to let you know and remind you, this is a sort of like a log of what I ate, not how much. Yes, this is some leftover gluten-free vegan sticky date pudding with some coconut ice cream. It was a recipe that I got together for that cookbook. Shameless plug. That's some almond butter and jam on another piece of sourdough as an afternoon snack. And for dinner, before I went to V-Bowl, I whipped up these veggie pies with like mushrooms, cauliflower, chickpeas, veggie stock, a bit of nutritional yeast, herbs, that type of thing, and whacked on some puff pastry lids. If you live in Australia, I would recommend, and you want vegan puff pastry, go for the Pampas over Borg's brand. This is the Borg's brand, and it didn't puff up that nicely. On to Tuesday we are, so it looks like I had some more toast while that was doing its thing. I had a little bowl of, I guess it's like a flaky type of brownie, gluten-free corn and other grain cereal. It's pretty good. Had that with almond milk, and then I had 2 slices of almond butter with chia jam to complete the morning breakfast bonanza. It's pretty comfort foody and looking delicious so far this week. For lunch, I wanted to make some rice and bean type things, because I really like having a super filling lunch that carries you through the afternoon. So I was making that, whacking Mexican type ingredients in a pot. I had some hummus and Mary's flax crackers, and we didn't have any vegan cheese, so I just whacked that on a wrap with some vegan parmesan, which was an interesting combination, but it still worked. For dinner that night, I seared off some satay tofu. That's just from like a regular supermarket, one of those varieties. I checked that I had no honey, chopped up an array of vegetables that we did have in the fridge, and started rolling. Rice paper rolls are one of the best, most filling raw veggie based dinners around, and like 6 of them really does me. So Wednesday morning I was gonna be excited to try one of these nudie, like if you're Australian, it's like sort of like an up and go, it's just like a juice thing, coconut milk based, but I don't know what that natural flavour is, because it tastes sort of artificial banana-y and really sweet, but not in a good way. You might like it, I wasn't quite so much fan. Then I decided to have some oats, and that's just oats with some protein powder, coconut sugar, nut butter, and frozen raspberries on top. That's pretty standard, and I have that when the weather's like gonna make your nipples cold if you have a smoothie. So after that, I had some seaweed crackers with some more hummus on top and a bliss ball as a snack. And I used to always have cheese on seaweed crackers as a kid, and this tasted exactly like it. This is a little snapshot of I went for a picnic, and there's a video coming out on that whole thing, so just know I had a picnic and ate a lot of food. When I came home I wasn't really hungry, and my brother and mum were wanting to have Rosties with like spinach and some sauteed mushrooms and some rocket, and so I had like a small serve of that, because who's gonna turn down potato Rosties, huh? We don't really have them that often, but yeah, crunchy potato is hard to turn down. So the next day, Thursday that is, I did go for a smoothie. I went for a green smoothie this time with bananas and spinach, and I kind of try to recreate a recipe that I have in the first or second HPOT journal. I'll link that below. It has nut butter and it tastes like custard somehow, vanilla-y custard, yet it has spinach in it, so it's a big win. Had about 500 mils of that and did hit the spot. We also, maybe I get one of these like once a month when they're on special, and that is probably the best flavour of Cliff Bar that there is around. Looks like another snack I had was more of that seaweed cracker and hummus combination, and then my mum picked up some salad sandwiches with like all the salad type ingredients, and avo and beetroot and onion and salt and pepper, and I don't know how they make it taste so good, but it sure does. That's just from like a local bakery thing, so it turns out there are even like easy vegan options at milk bar type places. Dinner, I was going out to the garden to attack this rosemary plant, it looks like, and chuck that rosemary on some roast vegetables. We were having a heck of a ton of roast vegetables and some green beans, and then I was going to try out these Veggie Delight vegan schnitzel type things. Veggie Delight has recently changed their packaging. They're an Australian brand, and it's like, it does so much for their brand. It just makes their products look so much more exciting. They were very good, if you're wondering. Wouldn't have them that often though. Friday, I was having a berry smoothie. Frozen berries, frozen bananas, probably protein powder, a bit of coconut nectar to sweeten, and probably some nut butter in there too. And that tasted jolly good, as you'd expect. For a snack, I whipped out some corn thins and had some cashew cheese. It's like a cultured cashew cheese. It's very delicious. It tastes heavenly. Highly recommend, and always goes far too quickly than acceptable because it's so good. We found this sort of it's like a chocolate cereal, except it's gluten free and refined sugar free, at a health food store. I tried that. You know, it was a good job. They did a good job at making it taste chocolatey, but it wasn't that chocolatey, and bizarre in flavour as well. For lunch, I probably made the best chickpea tuna that I ever had, and we had this ridiculously delicious millet bread that was super soft and pillowy, so I had that for lunch. Snacked on some of this vegan pecan maple like vegan white chocolate that's heavenly. I was going to do some babysitting that evening, so I packed like a lot of tea bags that I ended up just using their tea bags, so that wasn't a huge success. Snacked on some pesto toast on that millet sourdough thing, and yeah. For dinner, they are really vegan friendly, the family I was babysitting for, so they had made me dinner. I ate it with the kids. In the top left, that's like some veggie noodles with soy sauce, and then I also had lots of cups of like chamomile tea, bit of dark chocolate, and they had 2 varieties of seriously good coconut yogurt, vanilla and an acai flavour. Didn't taste so coconutty, it was ridiculously delicious. Saturday, I tried to make a acai smoothie, slightly different, with protein powder and nut butter and some coconut nectar in there too, and I just had sort of a medium-sized glass and gave the rest to my brother, and popped up some toast, and guess who's here? It's Nelson! He's such a big ray of sunshine. Yes, and Harvey's competing for attention, but that was sort of breakfast, and then I made a double vegan bacon blat sandwich for lunch. More about that coming in a later video, or an early one, depending on when I post this. Then I decided to make a lasagna. It had been too long, and so I, Nelson, used up some their gluten-free lasagna sheets made from corn, rice, I think, and then I made sure to have plenty of sauce, because I often, for some reason, scale back on the sauce and it never becomes saucy enough and it can get a bit dry. But this one, far out, it was the best one I'd ever made. I made some sort of pesto ricotta-y thing with tofu, and that's vegan mozzarella on top. My mum was in heaven, she loved it. I mean, quite right, it was something else. I'll link to the recipe I have on my blog, but I think I should share a new recipe for this because it was very delicious. Yes. Sunday, that's another berry smoothly, and it looks like a smaller size because I didn't use frozen bananas, so it was less icy. No frozen nipples, which is always good. Sunday, that was lots of fennel tea because it was a certain time of the month for me, and Sunday, Yep, Sunday lunch, this voiceover's getting long again, just had a leftover slab of that veggie lasagna, which tasted even better the next day, as lasagna tends to do. Snacked on a bit more of that weird cereal, but it's also delicious. And then I made some of these double chocolate gluten-free vegan pecan brownies, which then is a pretty similar recipe in the ebook. And I don't know how these get so fudgy and still stay gluten-free and don't really taste gluten-free, but that recipe doesn't even last like 6 hours in our household. It's so good. Definitely a favourite recipe from the ebook. Then we're making a curry for dinner with lots of cauliflower and chickpeas and peas, and there was sweet potato in there too. I sort of cleaned out the fridge and whacked in some snow peas. Don't know how authentic that is. Also boiled up some brown rice and had it with that and coconut yogurt and coriander. And almonds. Maybe I said that, maybe I didn't. I don't know. We're up to like the 11th or so minute here. Thanks for watching, Honey Bunches. You're a gem, and I hope you've been enjoying the videos lately. Pop over to my Etsy if you want to check out that cookbook as mentioned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!